So round 4 of the Rugby Championship is done. Proper rugby weekend. You gotta imagine what it's like to be in Queensland right now. Just back-to-back proper test matches. Proper entertainment up there. So South Africa losing again to Australia, 30 points to 17, and Argentina losing again to New Zealand by 36 points to 13. Obviously, the big talking point was the Australia-South Africa game. South Africa being the world champions, Australia having come off the back of 3 losses against New Zealand, one being a very comprehensive one. So South Africa having come off Lions series win, everyone expecting the world champions to front, but it wasn't going to be so. So let's get into it. So last week, South Africa lost to Australia. Everyone thought it was some sort of fluke that the world champions will bounce back, but Australia obviously playing in Suncorp, which is their fortress. Even the All Blacks struggled there. South Africa having lost some key players, and also like Peter Step to injury, and also not showing the form that they have had, and not having the luxury of their bomb squad, which they've heavily relied on. So South Africa obviously making mistakes, losing some breakdowns, not reaching guys not reaching the breakdowns, guys too slow, far too slow to take out the ball. The Australians, there's amazing clip on EK Rugby Analysis on Twitter of the work Marika Koribiti did to get the turnover on the wing. So a lot of breakdowns on the edges being lost by South Africa. Australia obviously taking their chances, playing expansive rugby, punishing South Africa for kicking the possession away after the game. Jack Ninaba saying they were outplayed in every facet of the game, which is almost 100% true. So they'll be looking to bounce back. Obviously, next weekend, big game against New Zealand. The 100th test between those two rugby nations. Some call it the greatest rugby rivalry in world rugby. Obviously, the jury's out on that one. Everyone will be watching that game, up in Townsville. So proper test match coming up next weekend. You know what a wounded Springbok can do. Obviously, they're under pressure. If you lose 3 test matches in a row and you're world number 2, questions will start being asked. And worse still, if you lose 4 test matches in a row. So New Zealand playing Argentina, winning 36 points to 13. Argentina fronting a better performance this week, putting themselves in a good position. And they had the ball in the second half. They had the ball for, I think it was about 15 minutes. New Zealand didn't have the ball, and just then we saw how good New Zealand defense is, because the Argentinians threw everything at them, everything. That defense did budge. They conceded one try, which was a cross kick try, brilliant kick by Chocobares, who had a brilliant, the Argentinian 10, who had a brilliant game at 10. Obviously, the Argentinians looking to build some depth at 10, with the Nicolas Sanchez being a bit old, and obviously they're looking forward to the Rugby World Cup in 2023. Good play from the Argentinian forwards, improved discipline from particularly Thomas Lavalini, using his physicality to get Argentina some gain line advantage on defense. I think they could improve next weekend. They face Australia. Last year they played Australia 2 times and they drew both times. So let's see whether or not this time there can be anything separating the team. Australia obviously being on a high. They want to keep their winning streak going. Obviously motivated by the win over the world champions. And look, maybe they have some contention for the Rugby Championship. That New Zealand Argentina game, the All Blacks approached it with a different approach. They really brought that. Their handling skills were incredible. Man, those guys, like, they made I think it was 8 passes per. They average 8 passes per play, and the average in international rugby is 2 point something passes. Those guys. And I remember someone telling me about an interview he had with Brody Retallick, saying that it's all about the mindset, the way they approach the game. So if they go into a game and they say we're going to be as physical as possible, if you go back and watch the Lions series, the first test and second test in 2017, they can't be physical when they want to be, and they can't be expansive when they want to be, and they're brilliant in every aspect of the game. So the standings currently, New Zealand 20 points. Obviously they will win the Rugby Championship if they win next weekend, unless they lose both games to South Africa, which is and South Africa win with a bonus point, which is I think it's improbable. Maybe the Springboks maybe have one shot at the All Blacks if they have to take it. South Africa at number 2, 10 points, with 10 points, having won 2 and lost 2. Australia having won 2 and lost 2, and Argentina with not obviously struggling in this competition with the lack of preparation, the Jaguares not being there for Super Rugby, and players being flown in from all over the country. So proper test match to look forward to next weekend: Argentina versus Australia and New Zealand versus South Africa. 100 test match between those two teams. If you like this content, please make sure to subscribe and like this video. I would like to hear your comments on what you thought about the Rugby Championship round 4 and whether improvements that can be made to the channel. Cheers.